In the name of God, Creator, Redeemer, and Sanctifier. Amen. One of my favorite Christmas movies is It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. Because, like our gospel reading today, it is about divine revelation. In It's a Wonderful Life, our protagonist, George Bailey, is a likable, honest, hardworking guy. He's had his ups and downs in life, but he's wrestled through them all successfully. The story takes place one fateful Christmas Eve when George hits a particularly dark spell. Everything he's worked for his whole life is about to be swept away, and he's on the verge of going to jail. In his fear, anger, and despair, he hits upon the gruesome solution that if he were to kill himself, his wife and family would at least have the insurance money to pay off the creditors. He believes his life is a failure, and it would be best to just end it. At one point, he even muses, "Everyone would be better off if I had never been born at all." This is where we meet our friend Clarence Oddbody, AS2, Angel, second class. Clarence is an innocent, bumbling angel trying to earn his wings, which he hopes to do by helping George. The remainder of the movie is Clarence giving George what he asked for, a glimpse of what his town would look like if George had never been born. That vision of Bedford Falls as a place of endless fear, hopelessness, and despair leads George to a moment of revelation. For you see, we discover it was George himself who almost single-handedly had kept the soul of Bedford Falls alive for all of those years, something he never realized. It was a divine revelation, revealed to him by a messenger of God, that changed his life forever. The most powerful moment of the film, however, is not at the end, when the folks of Bedford Falls rally around to save George. The most powerful moment is before that, when George first comes out of the alternate reality and finds himself on the snowy bridge with Speeding Lip and Zuzu's Pebbles. It's at that moment that George fully grasps the truth of his wonderful life. Just think about it. At that moment, externally, nothing has changed. His life is still as horrible as it was when he wanted to kill himself. He still expects to go to jail. He still thinks that everything he's worked for is over. Externally, nothing has changed. Yet everything has changed. He is deliriously happy and capers with delight. That moment is powerful precisely because the circumstances haven't changed. Yet George so obviously has. Clarence the Angel helped George see the deeper truth, because divine encounters reframe our reality. Speaking of angels bearing divine messages, we might consider Mary's visit from the angel Gabriel and her subsequent visit to her cousin Elizabeth. Here's another story of divine revelation, not unlike that of George Bailey. Mary is a small town girl in a country under occupation. Her people are oppressed by the Romans, and she's grown up with no hope that anything will change. But then she's visited by an angel and told that she will bear God's son. The angel tells her that in fact her elderly cousin is also pregnant. So one of Mary's first responses after the encounter is to visit her cousin Elizabeth in the hill country. These two women both have had divine encounters, both know something is up, something is brewing, something is shifting in the world. And upon seeing Mary, Elizabeth and the child in utero both expressed joy. And in exuberant response, Mary begins to sing. She sings, "God has scattered the proud in the thoughts of their hearts. He has brought down the powerful from their thrones and lifted up the lowly. He has filled the hungry with good things and sent the rich away empty." Her joy and song actually sound a lot like George Bailey on the bridge. As with George, for Mary, nothing's changed. The Israelites are still under occupation by the Romans. Mary's people are still being taxed into poverty and death. The country is in turmoil. There's no hope. Yet Mary is singing about lifting up the lowly and bringing the powerful down from their thrones. On the surface of it, the juxtaposition of this desperate reality and of the Israelites against Mary's happy song makes no sense. But in fact, that is the hallmark of a genuine spiritual encounter. It's life-changing effect. For instance, as I mentioned the other week, if you have a nice fuzzy dream that is merely pleasant to reflect on, then it's unlikely that that dream was a divine encounter. However, if you have a dream or encounter that seems as real as reality itself and afterwards causes you to change some behavior or belief or shift in your outlook in your waking life, there's a strong chance that there's a divine component to it. Mary displays all the hallmarks of a divine encounter because despite the difficult facts of life on the ground, she has come to see a deeper truth. Divine encounters reframe our reality. The other thing about divine revelation is we don't have to have had the experience directly ourselves for it to be efficacious, for it to work, have an impact on us. In other words, if we trust the experience as it happened to someone else, it can affect us as if it had happened to us. For instance, if a man is visited by a deceased loved one and he shares the story of the visit with his spouse, who then trusts and internalizes it, the spouse too can find themselves equally transformed. The veil between our physical existence and that of the spiritual is thin. That, I think, is one of the roles of Scripture. Angels may not appear to us, nor may we have had divine encounters. But the Bible tells us the stories of those who have encountered God, so that we too may come to reframe our reality. So that we too can look at the challenging truths of our life and simultaneously know a deeper truth, which gives us hope and joy. How does the truth of Jesus entering into the world, how does God touching your heart help you reframe difficult situations? How does your being a Christian, knowing God's abiding love for you, sustain you and help you see hope when evidence on the ground seems against it? The Advent waiting is almost over. Christmas is so close we can smell the roast feast. prophet Mary sang to us, the light that is coming into the world is about to be revealed, and it will overcome the darkness.